Guruji, Jai Gurudev. We have amidst us today friends from the media who are devoted to water and water resources, and they would like you to share your viewpoints on certain aspects of water that is so important to us. We are hearing a lot about the rivers of India that people are making a move to link these rivers. Gurudev, what is your viewpoint and understanding of this?
In Sanskrit, the word for water is apaha. And you add one more ta to it. Apta means that which is born out of water. Apta means the dearest one. So it's the same word for both love or the loved one or the dear one and the water. As a fetus, we were floating in fluid in mother's womb. If the fluid is not there, we would never have grown. And the moment we are born, we are fed with milk, which is again fluid. So even before we took a deep breath in, even before we started breathing, we needed the fluid, we needed water. And 60 to 70% of our body is made up of water elements. You need water vapor in the atmosphere. You need certain amount of humidity in the atmosphere. And you need water to drink as a fluid. Whether you dig deep into the earth, there is water. You look above the earth, there is water in the form of clouds. Just imagine this world bereft of clouds. Life cannot survive. So, our survival is dependent on water element. You can say we are a sort of fish which has no life outside. In the case of fish, it's very obvious. You take a fish out of the water and that's it. There is no life. We are not any less than a fish. In the Hindu mythology, the first manifestation of the divinity of God, of avatar of Lord Vishnu, is in the form of a fish. Then he came as a turtle, as an amphibian. Then a mammal. So, water and water and water is all that our life is all about. It is the basis of life force. Now, we need to protect the sources of water, whether it is rivers or lakes, ponds. There is not a single village without a pond. There should not be. If there is one such village, they should get a pond in the village. Water bodies need to be maintained. And this has been the tradition around the world, in all the civilization around the world. They always revered the water bodies, and especially in this country, ponds were a king's greatness is counted by the number of ponds he creates. When Bodhisattva went for the first time to China from India, the emperor of China came to receive him at the border. And his introduction was given that the emperor has constructed so many ponds, so many lakes, so many water bodies. So water bodies are to be maintained. Unfortunately, not much attention has been paid in this direction. Take for example Tamil Nadu, the most water-scared province of India, southernmost. Though nearly half of its boundary is with the ocean, still there is water scarcity. Number one, but we have not been taking care of the water bodies which were created under natural sources of water like rivers. Tamil Nadu had 86 different rivers, and today you hardly have 3-4. The rest are just in the revenue records. Now, since our volunteers are engaged in this, they have, see, just making rallies or asking people to join rallies is not enough. It is good to create an awareness, but it doesn't serve the purpose of really creating it on the ground level. We must work. It's good to create an awareness, but don't stop there. Our volunteers have now taken the 5th river rejuvenation in Tamil Nadu, about the 85. And in Maharashtra, about 30 rivers have been rejuvenated. They have deepened the path, widened the path of the river, put chuck bunds, and a scientific committee, it should not be done haphazard. A scientific committee is overlooking these projects. And the scientific committee consists of experts on water management, of agriculture, of horticulture, engineers, and people who have worked on water resource development institutions. And they are doing it so scientifically, putting recharge wells at the source of the rivers. The water which has gone down to 1200 feet below the ground has come to 50 feet. Just in a matter of 5 months' work in the Naganadi project, our volunteers from there were sharing with me. The villagers are so happy. The water content, water table has increased. Now there is water in the wells. So if there is no water, then you can't grow crops. No crops, people go hungry. And that is how hundreds of farmers commit suicide. You can't just look up to the heavens and expect rain whenever you want it. You have to make use of the rain whenever it comes and harvest it. And I'm glad that this project has taken a very big lead in such a short time. It is such a successful program. The Chief Minister of Maharashtra acknowledged the work of our volunteers, saying they contributed 70% of the water management in Maharashtra state. 70% of the work is done by our volunteers. And I really appreciate these young boys and girls who have motivated villages. And with 1/10 of the cost, some places even it is 1/100th of the cost, what it would have costed otherwise. And they have rejuvenated these ponds and these rivers. This is very necessary. Now, about linking of the rivers, I would say it's a good project, although it has the flop side of it. There are some disadvantages. There was this huge movement to stop Narmada River project, Narmada Bachao Andolan in this country went on for years. They have not been successful in their concept of saving the river, but it has saved hundreds and thousands of lives. The Narmada project was well conceived project. The river water which would have just gone into the ocean has been diverted in the state of Gujarat, Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh to provide drinking water and water for the agriculture. I have been to Rajkot, Saurashtra in early 80s and 90s. It was a barren land. I tell you, it was like desert. Tree was a luxury, and today you visit those areas, it's lush green. And people were struggling for water. Today, by connecting this Narmada river and providing water in Sabarmati river and all these other small tributaries, a whole population of 6 crores 60 million people are able to rise up in their life, are able to sustain life and become prosperous. If we say river linking should not be done, it doesn't make sense. Because in one point, see, so much of rainfall happens in Nepal, and from all the hills the water come, and upper Bihar gets flooded every year, isn't it? Upper Bihar, UP, West Bengal, and water coming from China, Tibet floods Assam, Brahmaputra, that area. But you come just a little below, the lower Bihar is drought prone. Here, South Karnataka is flooded, while North Karnataka there is famine. So when you link the rivers, one advantage is that you can avoid the disaster that happens with the flood. Second, you can also, in one stroke, you get the two advantages of avoiding flood in one area and drought in another area. And the disadvantage of it is the quality of water in all these rivers are different. And suppose if one river gets polluted, that pollution will also travel through all the other rivers. This is the danger here. But when you weigh between the advantage and disadvantages, I see advantages are much more than the disadvantages. So when you connect the rivers, you also make sure the waters are tested and no drainage is left into any of those rivers. So we need to clean the rivers. Art of Living volunteers in 2008 and 9 and 10 took to this work My Delhi and My Jamuna, Meri Delhi, Meri Jamuna. They removed 500 tons of garbage from the Yamuna river. Nearly for a month, 5,000 volunteers worked because people had thrown their jerkins, their shoes, their chappals. All garbages were let into Yamuna, the lifeline of the North India. And so these volunteers, all of us, we went and removed those tons and tons of garbages and created parks on both sides, planted trees. We did all this work. So we need to clean the river, one thing. And the source of rivers, we have in southern India, they have planted a lot of acacia trees. Acacia is not a tree of this land. Though it grows very fast, gives a green cover, but not a single bird sits on acacia tree. Nor a grass grows under that. So this acacia tree which we brought from Australia, we planted it all in the source of river. It absorbs a lot of groundwater, and very soon we find the river is dying. So we need to replant. This is a big blunder the forest departments have done. They did not realize when they did it. They just said, okay, it grows very fast and no cattle grazes it. So it is safe. You don't have to put a fence around that till it grows into a tree. And it grows very fast, needs very little care, and it looks very green. So let us plant it. So acres and acres and acres we planted acacia, Nilgiri, these trees. As a result, what has happened? The groundwater level has depleted. Trees do attract rains. And acacia does not attract rains. So trees which are native to the land, to the climate, should be planted, replanted. And this we have proved that this has happened. Our scientists have worked, and it is now an established fact that the sources of river, the origins of the river, you should see which plant is native to that geographical condition, and should plant only that type of trees. This work is also happening. So connecting the river necessary to avoid many type of disasters. At the same time, making sure the river waters are kept clean and pure. Even as religious things we want to give to the river, then don't throw your bangles and all the clothes into the river. Don't do those things. It's nowhere in the scripture it's written you should throw all this in non-organic material. Offer this non-organic material to the river. In this country, we always consider rivers to be feminine, most of the river, except Brahmaputra, because Brahmaputra was a very wild river. We made him a male. All other rivers we call it a feminine. As a feminine, we worship them as goddess. And as goddess, we go and put all these clothes and morabagina. That morabagina tagono no. We should avoid all these meaningless rituals which has no sanction from the scriptures at all. Somewhere it has just come into practice, throwing things into the river. And these days your flowers you get in the plastic, so you put along with the plastic all the flowers in the river. Flowers you put, no, never mind. Even rice you can put some rice in the river. There are fishes, they will eat them. That's okay. But don't put all these plastics and bangles and sardis, blouse piece, all those things. Okay? Now take care of them. And wherever the rivers are, the origin of rivers, there we should put banyan tree, peepal tree, neem tree. These are the trees which are rain friendly, mango trees, and which invites birds, which hosts the birds, not Nilgiris and acacia. And drainage, very easy. Industrial waste and drain waters are simply led into the rivers. This is something very, very serious.